There was a 6-month period a few years ago when my house was clothing optional. Not in the way that makes for interesting conversation for the neighbors. My 3-year-old son decided he just did not need them anymore. I would walk into a room and find a puddle of his clothes on the floor, a t-shirt, jeans, and socks left at the spot where he had liberated himself. I never stopped him because I loved the idea of a beautiful, naked, brown boy running around somewhere. My perfect Hershey's kiss of a boy. Apparently, he is not as enamored with his brownness as I am. We were in a family dressing room, this time completely dressed, where a father who was Minnesota white was getting his daughter dressed. My son pointed at him and said to him, "You're my dad." The man turned an even paler white, but then we laughed, and we even made a joke about it. "Were you the guy at the Madonna concert 3 years and 9 months ago?" And I didn't give it any further thought. Then a few months later, we were having breakfast when he looked at me and said, "Your skin is brown." "Yes, it is," I said, "just like yours." "My skin is white," he replied. No, it's not." "Yes, it is. And anybody who has had a 3-year-old knows that there is no winning this argument." So I quit. And then for the first time since I moved to the US, I thought to myself, what have I done? 15 years ago, I moved to this country. And then I moved to one of the whitest states in that country. You laugh because it's true. And then I moved to one of the whitest suburbs within that state. And then I'm surprised to find that my son thinks he's white? Question mark, exclamation point. Now don't get me wrong, I love this country. It fits me like a favorite sweatshirt. I feel comfortable in it, and I have claimed it as my own, which is why when I was on the subway and someone yelled for me to go back to your own country, I can say, dude, I'm already here. And it's why when the temperature is minus 40 degrees, I can say, bring it on, because we Minnesotans are hardy. But here is just where life brought me. I had made a choice without actually choosing, and now my children are a minority. My children are a different color from most of the kids in school. They celebrate different holidays, and they have different names. So I sat down and I made a list of just some of the things that make us different, things beyond the color of our skin. Number 1, we do not have a football team we root for. Hell, we don't even watch football, or baseball, or hockey. Number 2, we have never had meatloaf. Or hot dish. Number 3, they are probably the only kids in their school with chickpeas or mango in their snack box. Number 4, no one can pronounce their names. Omer becomes Omar, Aisha becomes Aisha, and Adam becomes Autumn, like the season. And the biggest one of all, number 5, we don't celebrate Christmas. You see, I'm what some people call a FOB. That stands for fresh off the boat, which means I recently immigrated here. Some find it derogatory, but I do not mind it at all. It gives me a pass when I can't figure things out in the US. This country does not come with a parenting guidebook, but it does come with something even better: Google. Do you wear pants under your snow pants, or just change when you get to school? It's a legit question, people. I Googled it, and I saved my child the mortification of standing at their locker in their underwear. Assigned walking tacos for the summer camp party. Googled it and saved my child the embarrassment of showing up with, well, I don't know. What would you think it is if you'd never heard of it? So you have your parenting books, and I have Google. But there are questions that are not as easily answered. Decisions about giving up my culture and my upbringing for a different one for my children. And there is no Google for that. Sleepovers, I've allowed them. Dating, I have not come to that yet. Makeup, not for a long while. Halloween, hell yeah. So every decision I make either helps them fit in, or sets them further apart, and it's a little unfair to them because, after all, I chose this life for them. They did not, and I feel guilty for this. But I also realize that every mother of every color in every country has some sort of guilt. We worry that the decisions and choices we make, on purpose or not, has an unexpected effect on our children. Do we praise them too much or too little? Do we put them in too many after-school activities or too few? Do we push too much or too little? Do they have too many friends or too few? So I have come to terms with my decision, but that does not mean I have let go. So it's been over a year, and I ask my son again what color he is, and he tells me, I'm green like the Hulk. Oh, thank God, I think. I misunderstood the whole thing. And then he says, but underneath the green, I'm white. Oh, well.